And that's a great point. That that your limitations as mobile game developers or mobile developers or lifestyle developers for mobile application or mobile for smartphones or any kind of phone is that you have to, you're limited by the device. So you have to bend that user experience to accommodate the limitations of the devices, right? And as the devices grow, I'm going to assume, and I don't know this, but I'm going to assume that an iPad version of this is imminent for Magmic to come out because that's a form factor that's much more attainable to a crossword puzzle, right? And it's an extension of their brand, and they're going to want that. You don't have to answer that because unless you want to comment on that, but
We evaluate all hardware platforms that come on the market equally as opportunities to extend the brand.
there you go. Nice answer. So you've got this brand in New York Times. You've got the clout of the New York Times and what they represent in North America and around the world, and the brand of the crossword. And you're about to launch this on the iPhone. You're obviously working with Apple because back then you do know that they are moving into subscription, and it's 6 or 9 months away. So talk about the launch. So it's a year ago. You're live on iTunes, and what did Apple do? What did the New York Times do? I mean, how did you leverage them?
Well, we like to work really closely with our licensing partners when we're working with a brand to take advantage of the connections and the marketing opportunities that brand provides. When you work with your own IP, you have to do all your own marketing and create all your own advantages. But when you're working with a brand like the New York Times, they already have connections. They already have processes in place to help market their products.
Right.
The New York Times Reader application was one of the first, if not the first, product available on the App Store when the iPhone originally launched. So the New York Times Crosswords has a very good relationship with Apple, a very close relationship with Apple. And we were able to work with them to leverage that relationship into a featured placement for the product in the first month that it was launched on the iTunes Store. So, that's something that would be very difficult for us to get on our own, not having at that time been an established iPhone developer with a track record of success, with a large portfolio of products. It's hard to stand out amongst the literally thousands of other iPhone developers that are also emailing Apple saying, hey, you should feature my application.
How do I get on the commercial? That's all I want. Right?
Exactly. So having the New York Times, already having a relationship with them and already having those contacts and that in with Apple, they were able to get this product positioned for us in a featured slot for that month of March, which was not just a big difference, it was all the difference in getting the product in front of people and getting the product featured, getting the product in front of mind, and driving sales, driving very, very high sales to kick the product off on that platform with a plume. It was a fantastic launch that we were very, very happy with.
Well, it's no coincidence that that when Steve Jobs stood on stage and showed the iPad, what did he show?
It's the New York Times application running on the iPad.
And that's it. So, it bodes well that there's a great relationship with her, and that's why I ask. And so this was a year ago, and this was when you had a $9.99 price, and it was kind of from that point until December 31st, 09.
Yeah.
And then you changed the price a couple of times to $6.99, and then you switched it to a $1.99, and then you switched it to free for a week, and then you buy the subscription. So walk me through that. Obviously, you're playing with the pricing, and the reason you play with the pricing is until you find something that settles. You wait for the technology to catch up to you guys, like the in-game purchase and the ability to do the subscriptions. But then you settle on a price. What was the backlash? What was the reaction to the users? What's it been since then, since you landed on subscription?
So subscription started in September of last fall, September 2009, and pricing changes users are used to. People on the App Store change their prices all the time. They're constantly in flux around. So people are used to changing prices. The big difference here was it was a pricing model change. So it wasn't just, okay, you're changing the price from $99 to $6.99 or $1.99 to 99 cents or whatever it happens to be. It was that it went from being a fixed price purchase to a subscription model, which is, customers have different views on those two types of models. And you have some people that just will never subscribe to something, and you have some people that, it doesn't bother them, that this is fine, they see the value in it. So There was definitely people that were not happy with the fact that a product that had been, a single price point was now a subscription because they thought that the value they were getting in the past wasn't the same as what they would get moving forward.
Right.
Even though the value in the subscription is really about the future value in the product, not about the present value in the product. And when we changed it to that subscription model, there was some backlash, but there was a lot of people that looked at that and saw as a positive for them in terms of they'll get access moving forward throughout the years in 2010 and beyond.
Well, it's an interesting point that you made there, which is that a subscription model is not for the present value; it's for the future value. It's what's coming down the road, and what's the activity that you see daily with the New York Times Crosswords? I mean, you've got a pretty loyal group every day that does this, that participates. Is that?
Yeah, it's definitely the percentage of users that access our game every day and play it every day, not just once a week, but literally every day, is extraordinarily high, far higher than your average customer engagement for an online application. It's more analogous to a newspaper subscriber or a magazine reader every month that has something new that's coming into them that they enjoy reading or enjoy accessing. So I think it's a big differentiator for that product compared to other products that might be trying to engage users or trying to provide a subscription model. We provide value to the customer every single day, and they come back every single day to access that value.
So once they so the value. I mean, this is a clear indication that there's massive value to be had from your customers appreciate this, and for a small subscription, they get this every day. They're active on it, but they really are. Subscription is you're prepaying for the next year, and do you have a step aside here, kind of off topic a little bit, but it's around pricing. Is there one that I talk to a lot of application developers, game developers through Untether, through my life outside of Untether. And it's always a struggle about pricing. It's always a struggle. Your CEO, John Criswick, is the same thing, right? I remember when Magmic would start and he would fluctuate the pricing just to see where that sweet spot was. It was 10 cents lower, $1 higher. Yeah. So it's trial and error. But is there the challenge that you have is that when somebody buys a product for $1.99 today on the App Store, they anticipate that $1.99 entitles them to every upgrade, every future development that's ever going to come from that product. They don't want to pay again, and they're getting tremendous value because software, as you said, right? It's not a cheap thing to build even on a mobile device anymore. So, do you have a preference when you look at this and you say, how do I extract a little bit more revenue so we can improve the product incrementally over the next couple of years? How do you do that?
In terms of trying to set the price or the pricing model, or
well, the price is it's whatever the market will bear, and we know that in the app world, it's relatively low, right? There's not you're not going to be able to bear. I mean, I spent $75 on a GPS application because I didn't have to spend $350 on a hardware and software, right? So it's all in perspective. But for the most part, apps cost less than $10, and that's a de facto now. And I mean, you hope it increases so people can make money and stay in business. So it's more about the model for me now. Is what's the best model? You guys sell 100 products or 150 products. What do you think is the best model to be looking at?
Well, you have to fit the model to your product or the product to the model. You can't pick and say, well, all of these 100 products will work at a fixed